Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. Suspended 2 episodes for calling someone an NPC to their face. That's Kai. I'm appealing the ruling. And we have someone special on today. We have Nick, Staknsports. How you doing, man? Kai, how are you as well?
Doing good. No complaints. I just actually spilled my coffee all over my desk right now. Other than that, doing pretty well.
No.
Other than that, doing pretty well.
Do you want to restart and clean up and we can?
No. Let's keep it going. I think it'll be like a good intro to the podcast.
Kai, please tell me you're doing better.
I think it'd be hard to be doing worse, but yeah, pretty good. I'm not going to the show like you guys are this week, so.
In solidarity, I'm going to spill my body armor light on my computer as standing with Nick, of course. But yeah, Nick is going to be setting up with me at Fanatics Fest this weekend. Max 2 cards. Everyone's Instagram name sounds the goddamn same. Max will be with us as well.
Cards Max 2 cards. Too many Max.
I mean, there's a lot, dude. There's so many Daves and Davids as well. Myself, Woods, Basketball Card Paradise, Card Junkie, who is not really in cards at the moment, but is still around as far as I know. I think of other Daves who are in the industry that I really know, but those are the three that I deal with pretty often. But yeah, Fanatics Fest is this weekend. I think that we're in a pretty good spot for everything, all things considered. I mean, it is a 3-day show. I don't think there's any official trade night or anything associated with it. From the conversations that I was having, it sounds like there were going to be possible after show type things, but the scheduling just did not happen because it was so quick after the national. And then any kind of trade nights that be associated with it seem to be more based on hobby shops in the New York City area. I don't know what is confirmed and what's not anymore. I've heard a couple of different things, but I've not seen anything posted about it, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect. And frankly, I'm not sure what to expect in general for Fanatics Fest, but I'm really trying to be positive about this. But I'm curious, Nick, what you think is going to happen.
I messaged you today. I'm like, what should I bring? I'm sitting on a lot of inventory right now. I'm gonna go into the show pretty light on cash, and tons of inventory, and I'm trying to gauge is this gonna be more of a Vegas type show that it's 1K plus, or is this more of a show that you want to have stuff in the under 100, 100 to 500 range? I have no clue, but I've been just stacking inventory, hoping that this is going to be more of a seller show, because I mean, the last 3 big shows I've been to, it always feels like there's more buyers than there are sellers in the room. So I've just been stacking inventory back home, going to other shows. Honestly, if there are trade nights, I will not be attending. I've never been to New York City. I've been to Cooperstown when I was a kid, but I want to see the city. I'm spending a small fortune on hotels and whatever, flying in. I'm going to enjoy myself when I'm not set up. I'm usually a walker at shows, so I'm looking forward to it. I have no clue what to expect. I'm going to look to dump a lot of football going into season, but I'm not going to panic sell because we still got Burbank and Dallas before football season starts. So I don't think you got to panic sell anything, but at the same time, I don't want to be holding a lot of those big cards going into the season.
You brought up a couple interesting points there. And Kai, I mean, I would love your perspective too. I mean, obviously you're not attending the Fanatic show, but what do you think is kind of an outsider looking in before I kind of speak my opinion on it?
I mean, I can't imagine the show's bad. I just don't know sort of the balance they're going to find between entertaining people that go and then dealing at the show, that sort of balance. It's going to be interesting to see how the first one does for Fanatics. I mean, I just have a hard time believing it's bad at all. I think the entertainment will be great, and I think the show part will be great because you have a bunch of the premier dealers going. I mean, I think most people that, typically set up at Dallas, Burbank, whatever it might be, are probably going to be there, I would think. So
yep.
I think overall, I mean, I think it's going to be a good show. It's expensive, obviously, like Nick said, but probably worth it for you if you're bringing enough inventory, I would hope. So
It's gonna be. I really think there's gonna be a fine line between the consumer base that walks in. I mean, I posted about this on Instagram yesterday. So at the time of recording, like it'll still be on my Instagram, but like when we get here on Wednesday when it launches, it won't be. Michael Rubin was on Good Morning America, I believe.
Was it First
Or
Take?
one of the
Good morning.
Yeah, and First Take as well.
First Take.
he was on First Take as well, but this was either like a day or two ago or over the weekend. I'm not sure when he like was on there, but then he posted about it. No other card show is able to actually get that audience base and be on, major networks, ESPN, and then NBC, ABC, whatever, Good Morning America is on anymore. I'm not sure. So just that fact that like you are approaching like top of the level funnel consumers who love sports but might not like really collect trading cards, or when they think of cards, I think of like baseball cards with the 90s or early 2000s, like they've never owned a baseball card before, a football card, basketball, whatever. I think this might be a pretty interesting show for like education of people who have disposable income but might not like know like, oh, Prism is the best for X, Y, and Z, but NT is this. And also don't forget about Flawless and like learn about Alt and Card Ladder and all these amazing tools. So I'm going into the show with 3 showcases to myself, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then 4 Saturday, Sunday, just because I sold one of it for a day, just because I have a friend who has like memorabilia of like Taylor Swift autographs, like Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter, like more of like entertainment style things. I don't need all 4 showcases. I'm actually going to pack pretty heavy card wise because it is a local show for me. I don't have to fly anywhere. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to sleep in my own bed, which is nice. And I really do think that there's going to be 2 major price points that do well. I think like $20 to $100 will sell incredibly well, and then $500 to $1,000. I don't know what's going to happen with the show. I mean, if a repacker walks in or several repackers walk in, then that $100 to $500 range is going to be gone immediately. It's not going to really matter. But for like the consumers who walk into the show who maybe don't collect, but like are Yankee fans or Cubs fans or X, Y, and Z fans, and they see, oh, that's an Aaron Judge auto that's $250, or oh, there's a Chris Bryant for $40. Oh, I'm a Cubs fan. I love Chris Bryant because World Series in 2016. I'm going to buy that. I'm not going to bother checking comps, doing research, and whatever else. I think that that's going to be a pretty interesting avenue. I think that the Javits Center is probably the best location that a show will be held in this year. It's just an awesome place. If you've never been there, I think you're going to really enjoy kind of like the setup, the vibe. It's just awesome. I've had the chance to go in the past for the International New York Auto Show, like for actual like cars, not cards. And it's just so badass. I do think there'll be a fun element to it. I think the guests and celebrities who are attending will make it a little more of an event than a card show. But like this is something where if you have the money to attend and be there, it's going to be really fun. It might not be the best card show, but I think the vast majority of people are going to have a lot of fun outside of maybe buying and selling and trading.
Agree. I yesterday, the thing that I went on and did was I just looked at the autograph guests. Because I'm like, all right, that may bring people out. And if you look on the website, most of the WWE people are already sold out. I don't do anything WWE. I never watched it as a kid. And that makes me think that maybe the sports cards side of it may not be the biggest part of it, that people are just going for the autographs. And that sometimes could hurt us dealers, because it's like, people are only going for the autographs. But I also see them charging like $120 to take a picture with Livy Dunn. So maybe those creeps will come in and be like, oh, I'm going to take a picture with him, but I'll also buy like 5 $20 cards. So like you said, maybe that $20 price range may be a good idea. But then someone like me coming from out of town, I don't want to bring too many of those cards because I only get so much space. Yeah,
this is such a weird show for someone who is flying in, because I have to imagine your flight was probably not too expensive. But if you're staying in like a decent hotel in New York City, you're probably paying what, 250 or 350 bucks a night?
My hotel is so to get in and get out, it's 240. I fly in Thursday night.
Nice.
I fly in Thursday morning because I want to experience the city. I fly out Sunday night. My hotel
Okay.
was 280 per night, so I'm splitting it with a buddy, so I'm in 140 per night on that. So I'm already like sunk cost. I mean, I'm in the table over I'm splitting it with Max, but I'm in it over 1,000. So like there's a lot of cost for this show. So if I'm bringing my Zion roller, but I don't want to bring too many $25 cards, because if I could fill my whole showcase with that, but it's hard to replenish that throughout the show if I don't have a lot of walk-ups with that stuff.
Yeah, it's a weird spot for you. I mean, and I know you use that word weird a lot, but like, yeah, you're into the show now about 1,500 to $2,000, because you're gonna have to eat food. You're gonna want to go do things. What I will warn you about, and anyone in general who's like flying in or traveling to New York City for the show, don't be a target. Like pay attention around you. Be cognizant of what you're doing and how. Don't fucking talk about how much money you have or cards or X, Y, and Z. Like just be aware. I mean, I know you can say that in any major city, but like New York is a different animal, and just be aware. I think you will be. I think anyone who listens to this podcast or listens in general kind of like knows that. But you know what? One kid went missing in Atlantic City when the national happened there. Like it wouldn't shock me if there's a possible situation like that in New York over the weekend, because it's just kind of like a different animal in a way. And people might not be prepared for that kind of juxtaposition.
The fuck did you just say?
I slurred my words, Kai. I don't think people will be ready for like the New York animal. They're from like a small town like the Midwest, or a posh area in like
How
California.
far is the show from like the hotels? I didn't really look into it at all. Is it kind of like you have to Uber there, or can you walk?
So I have a hotel in Manhattan, and I still have to Uber probably every day, because me personally, I went to Atlantic City. I saw how that went. I saw people get put in corners, and I don't want that to happen to me. So I'll bite the bullet every day, spending $10 to $20 each way to not be in that situation, because I don't know New York City. I know I'm from here. I'm from Chicago, but Rosemont is a good part of Illinois. There's no shady parts of it. You could walk around with your case and nobody's going to come up to you. There's not a lot of populated houses around there. It's mainly just hotels. So I don't know this area of New York, so I'm just going to take the Ubers every day. And people that are taking the bus, you could have stayed somewhere a lot cheaper, but I didn't want to take the bus or take the subway because I don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm taking the bus from New Jersey into New York City, and it's about a 15-minute walk, give or take, maybe 20, depending on how fast or slow I walk or whatever, to the Javits Center. But I also worked in New York City for 3 years, and I frankly don't give a shit anymore. It's just like one of those things that you realize as you get more comfortable with the location, because I'm sure you feel the same about Chicago. You know what to avoid, the situations you don't want to be in, and if you just look like you're comfortable, you know what you're doing, you're not going to get bothered. If you look like you're lost, you've already lost that first battle, and someone's going to be paying attention. If you're wearing a nice watch, or you're carrying a Zion case, you're talking about, man, I just sold that car for $10,000. Look how fucking wealthy I am. Like it's just, unfortunately, it's just a hard reality that people will realize. Hopefully nothing does happen, but I would not be shocked.
Agree.
Yeah. But anyway, I do think it'll be a good time. I'm very excited. And even if it's not the best time, Nick, are you going to Burbank as well? Because you mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm going to Burbank. Like the next, or the last, I'd say 3 months, I've gone to shows, and every time I leave the show and I'm like, I had fun at the show, but I didn't do anything outside of the show. So I want to do stuff in New York City. I'm going to Disneyland before Burbank, because it's literally right across the street. So my big plan for the rest of the year is do stuff while I'm in that city. go to a baseball game, go to a football game. And I know that eats on the profit of going to the show, but at the same time, I want to enjoy my experience.
Nick, how old are you? I'm just curious.
23.
Oh, you are way smarter than I was at 23 because I'm about to turn 28 in like 2.5 weeks. Like I am bringing my wife with me to Anaheim. I'm going for a week out there, but had I done shows when I was younger, because 23 is COVID times basically for me, and there wasn't that much available. The cards were not as profitable for me back then. Like I would have only wanted to hashtag grind myself into the ground. I think one thing that a lot of people your age or a little bit younger who do travel for shows will realize or should realize is you got to have some fucking fun. You got to be able to balance out like working hard, talking to dudes all day, selling sports cards, X, Y, and Z. Like, yeah, go catch like a Mavericks game if you're in Dallas, or go to a Bulls game or a Bears game in Chicago, or yeah, if you're in New York this week, this weekend actually. I think the Yankees are maybe home. If you're a Yankee fan or just like want to go see Yankee Stadium or Citi Field or X, Y, and Z, like you get to travel for free basically. If you're actually good at this, you're making money, you're doing well, you might as well get some experiences out of it too. Like, am I really happy that I sat in Cleveland, Ohio for 6 days a couple weeks ago? No. But like the most fun I had and the stuff that I'll take away from it is going to a casino with Kai and Mikey and just like having fun and bullshitting for 2 hours because it felt like it was earned, and like going out to a nice dinner with a bunch of friends too. Like the shows are always going to be there, and like the money's nice and X, Y, and Z, but like making the actual experiences happen with your friends is everything. Like even Nick, did you do Nashville at all or no?
Yes.
Okay, so
and I did the boardwalk last time, and or what is that? Is that the boardwalk?
Nashville is Broadway.
Broadway. I did that, and that was. I didn't even spend that much money, but it was just a great experience. Like I've never been to Nashville. I go to these cities that I've never been to, never got to go to as a kid, and I'm like, I spent $50 tonight. I didn't drink too much. I didn't do anything stupid, but it was just cool to experience it.
Once again, actually intelligent thought. Good job, dude. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. I'm debating going to Nashville in October. I don't even have a table. I'm not going to go and get a table. And I actually really prefer setting up at shows versus walking. But I'm trying to convince myself and convince my friends, hey, Nashville's going to have a pretty okay show. I'm going to go. If I do you want to go to the Titans Colts game on October 13th or whatever day it is? Like, hey, that makes the weekend much more fun because, I've never had the chance to go to a Titans game. I don't give a shit about either team. But like, this is a fun experience. Let's get a little group together and see if it makes sense. And you know what? I would enjoy that a lot more. And I'd look forward to that a lot more than sitting at a show on Sunday anyway, in general. And then also on the fact of like, I might be able to do it and make money for myself too.
See, I think the problem people have is they'll either not do anything or they'll go like full on shine and get like courtside tickets to the Mavs game, or like fly in on a private jet. Like, no, nobody does that, but still, like, you got to find the equal spot. Like if it's the National, pick your battles. Pick all right, I'm going to go to the show all day these days, and then maybe I won't go to the show all day this day, but I'll go to trade night that night, or I'll do this. Some people, like, they just grind themselves into the ground, and then when it comes to the next week after, they're doing nothing, sitting at home because they're so tired from it. And I'd rather just like enjoy it a little bit here, enjoy it a little bit there. Don't kill myself.
Well, I mean, that's how you avoid burnout. Doing it the way that you are, which is, yeah, you're going to be traveling a bunch, you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, but you're making it fun for yourself. All right, cool. I'm not going to really be upset when I have to spend 9 hours at a card show if I know that, the next night I'm going to spend 3 hours here and go catch like a ball game or go out with my friends to a nice dinner or both or whatever ends up happening. Like, it's just a good thing. And I think that a lot of people either kind of miss that point or don't see the importance of it. But like, I'm not that much older than either of you. And I can tell you that like, I would not still be in sports cards and doing what I love and like still making money from it if I didn't take so much time to be like, I need a balancing act here. I need to make sure I pick and choose my battles. Like, yeah, I'm doing a lot over the next 45 days. It was National, Burbank, Fanatics Fest, which kind of counts, but not really because it's New York for me. And then Dallas. Like, it's a lot of major shows. But then what? My next show after that, maybe is Nashville. And if I go, I'm going to go for 40 hours, 48 hours, maybe at the most, go for a day to buy and catch a football game. Like, I'm going to give myself plenty of time off because it's earned. Like, sure, I can go to Atlanta, like if I really, really wanted to, or another decent show, but like I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this full time, and I don't have any interest in like grinding myself into the ground and just being miserable as a result.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Kai, are you like? I know you did the national. You don't do as many big shows, correct?
No, I would say on average, I probably do like 3 to 5 a year, probably. Like I'm doing Dallas, and then I'll do the Orlando Fanatics in November because that's where I live. But yeah, I usually do the national, like 1 or 2 Dallases, and then like maybe 2 other shows.
Do you find yourself by the end of that weekend, like by the end of the national, were you there all 5 days?
Yeah, I was there Wednesday through Sunday.
Were you like dead by the end of it?
Dude, I was probably dead by like Friday night.
Because
So
I'm seeing that the people that go to show here and there by Friday, they are like cooked. They're like, I'm good on this. Or like if they go to Fanatics Fest this weekend, if they get there Friday, by Saturday night, they're like, I can't do Sunday anymore.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, I think the National's kind of different too if you don't have a table. I mean, like walking that show all day for like 3 to 5 days and then like doing whatever you do at the end of the day at night and whatever. I mean, it's just brutal. But I mean, like Dallas is perfect. I mean, you get there Thursday, leave like Saturday night, Sunday morning. I mean, the hotel's right there. You walk downstairs, you go to the show, you can go up and take a 30-minute break if you want to.
it's so perfect, dude. I'm so excited that I have my spot in Dallas. I'm happy that I'm able to continue to be there in my name. Kai, you're actually staying up with me in September, which is exciting. Like, I'm doing exactly what you said. I'm flying in Wednesday night because it doesn't really matter for me. Work from my hotel room Thursday and Friday, and then I'm at the show, and it doesn't matter. Fly home Saturday night, assuming there's no issues. Wake up in my bed Sunday and get ready to watch football. Like, it's just so damn perfect. Like, Dallas will continue to be one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show to be at, because it just checks all the boxes. The only other show that kind of holds a candle to that is either the Chicago Spectacular, when it happens twice a year, or the National in Chicago, because you're 5 minutes from the airport. And if you book it at the correct time and you have a hotel connected to the convention center or the Lowe's, which is a 2-minute walk away, it's just so nice. Like, I don't want to deal with like an Airbnb or a 30-minute drive away or X, Y, and Z. If I'm tired, dude, and I want to go hang out, or I'm burnt out after a long day of making deals and selling and trading or whatever else, like, yeah, I'm gonna want to like go right to bed. I'm not gonna want to have to deal with a 20-minute Uber to our hotel, Kai, on top of dealing with like bullshit with the exits in Cleveland, for instance.
I have completely changed. I've been to Dallas. I want to say I went to the last Dallas that 4th of July weekend, and that was my first Dallas in close to 8 months. And I'm a walker at Dallas. I don't set up. I've had the opportunity, but I've kind of weaned off it. I do cards full time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally would rather be back home at our local shows Saturday and Sunday, because I think by the end of Friday, the buying opportunity walking around is very, very slim pickings. Like even by Thursday, sometimes some of the best cards in the room, or at least the well-priced cards, are already all gone. So for me, I get out of there Friday night. This last show, I went there Thursday, flew out Friday morning to Nashville, and I even think I got to Nashville a little too late. But to me, it's still a great show, and I'm going to keep going to it now that I've got a little bit more of a consistent schedule with school and stuff. But I think when you're on the other side of the table, it's not as easy right now, at least.
What do you mean by that in terms of like just being a dealer? You think it's a little bit harder to get like quality deals, or what do you mean by that?
I think with everybody in that room knowing, hey, if I take this to this person, I'm probably going to get 90% of the last sale, sometimes a little bit more. Offering like even 90 on some stuff, people are like, I'll wait to see if I get 100. I'll wait till I can get 95. I'm like, I'd rather be somewhere where there maybe isn't as much of an opportunity for liquidity. As a dealer, I think it's great because you could stay firm on your prices. You know someone's going to walk around and offer you really, really strong on cards. As someone that's just walking around, I think it's a little bit more difficult.
I mean, case in point, I turned down 90% comps on the MJ sticker right here. $1,000 ask. Woods Basketball Card Paradise, ironically, because we were talking about him before, offered me $900. Very, very fair offer. If it was in person and cash, which I probably could have done, I would have maybe considered it more, but I knew I can get a little bit more out of it, and I did. And it's just like one of those interesting things where, like, if you deal in liquid cards, if you deal in Fleer MJs, you deal in Topps Chrome LeBrons, Silver Prisms of X, Y, and Z, stuff that doesn't necessarily have collectors, but doesn't have a ton of collectors, but has a ton of consistent sales every single day, every other day, and is basically cash adjacent. 90% is kind of like the starting point for those. Like, if I could buy every Fleer MJ across my table at 85% comps and like consistent of that numbering, I would be broke because I would just keep on buying them and flip them for 88, 89, 90, 92%. And you would constantly have buyers because people want to buy into those cheaply, flip them for their couple percentage points and reset and rinse the money over. And you can make a pretty good living doing that. Now, I'm not telling you that, intelligent people are going to sell their Fleer MJs at 85% comps. Frankly, they're probably going to be expecting 92 to 95%. But if you're feeling ballsy about it or you buy enough stuff, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I can't really speak to that world. I kind of deal in a little bit of everything. And the way that I've been able to buy as a result of that is I'm still able to buy pretty much 80% of comps, give or take, because I'm buying a little bit of weirder stuff or not as consistent sales or buying some strange things that maybe no one would else want because, hey, I don't want to deal in a Kevin Green star-crossed non-numbered card, but if I buy all these and then grab other things from you, now the percentage points make up for it, and we can get a deal done that maybe someone else wouldn't have known of.
Yeah, I agree on that. You just, real quick, you just gotta sometimes eat one value, eat something you're getting those really, really cheap, and then it makes up for other cards in the deal.
I think you just have to be willing to like zag when other people zig. Like, this is really truly not a hard industry to learn. I really stand by that. My younger cousins want to learn about sports cards. I've tried to get my best friends into sports cards, and it's not about them not being smart enough to understand like how to buy and sell. It's more about like how much effort and passion they want to put into it. You can't teach that, but you can teach someone, hey, if this is X and it sells for Y, you can offer this, and then go to this platform to try and sell it, or go to eBay or Facebook or Instagram or a card show. That's not hard to do. Anyone can do that once. Now, can you find those deals when it's not as clear cut? Can you do a little more research? Can you find that raw card that that person thinks is an 8 or 9 and do X, Y, and Z to it? No, now it's a PSA 10. Oops, whatever. And then increase your value exponentially. There's so many avenues to do well at this. There's so many ways to make that money if you're willing to go above a different path. Sure, you can try and find those Fleer MJs at 85, 90% comps, or only buy Topps Chrome LeBrons, or X, Y, and Z, or super modern vintage, or super modern or vintage. Let me fix that statement. And only pay this percentage points, and you'll do okay. But if you want to do consistently well every single time, you kind of have to be a little more adventurous every now and again and understand, like, hey, in order to get like the most value per se, you know where I make my best percentages on? Low end. I do very well with low end stuff. That's why I'm building an AI app to list cards faster. That's why, while it's still being developed, I've been using consignment. I don't want to fucking work hard. I want to work smart, dude. Like, all I want to do is be able to turn over my money as fast as possible in 5 different avenues and then figure out what to do with it when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, kind of like Nick said, I mean, it's easy to get like caught up in buying one card for X% and then another one for whatever. I mean, I think you just have to really, at the end of the day, like aggregate like stuff together. I mean, if you're gonna buy a collection, I think it's important to like not look at one card as in, oh, I'm paying full comps for this, but maybe the whole collection as in like I'm paying like 90% for this. I mean, there's certain cards you're gonna have to pay up for, and there's certain times when you may have to buy crappy cards at high percentages to get the other cards. I mean, it's just kind of how it is right now because other people will if you don't, and then you're stuck with nothing.
I'm
So,
happy you said that. So I bought recently a pretty major soccer lot internationally. This person was in the UK. There's someone I bought from before. They're very nice. I like this person a lot. I then went and sold it to a hobby shop. The entire lot. Everything was sold in one deal, except for one card, which was the David Beckham Impeccable I still own. The reason why is because when we were negotiating the deal and I was copying everything for the person, that was like one of the first major cards we went through. I said, hey, I think it's worth X. They said, well, listen, I think it's worth Y. And we came to an agreement that was over the general percentage that I wanted to pay for the items. But hey, it didn't matter. Sick card, move on. Price everything else. And I have the spreadsheet open on my screen. I'm not going to share it because it doesn't matter. I priced 273 different items. This hobby shop bought all of them at a certain percentage. I made money. They'll make money. Everyone's happy, except for that Beckham that I had to go over the percentage of. I probably paid close to 90%, if not even 100%, just in good faith to get that deal done. And it wasn't even the largest card in the deal. They personally just had it at this value, and it's not worth making a sour taste or sour impression when I know, oh, there's hundreds of cards here. Let's talk and let's keep this relationship going because we're both doing well here as a result.
Agree. You just got to give a little to get a little sometimes. And
Yeah.
like I've got a deal getting shipped to New York. That was like, I think like a $7,000 lot, so I could have it at Fanatics. And there was a couple cards in there that the guy was just, he's like, I need like 95 on these, but on other stuff, he's like, I could do 75%. And those cards that I'm paying 95 on are the case hits that I think at the show I could probably break even at that 95% or maybe get a little bit over. But to get those other cards at 75, I had to just pay up on them. I don't think I'll lose. Do I think case hits are the answer long term? No. But in today's market, that's just what they go for, and that's what you have to pay to sometimes get those cards.
You will get offered 90% probably on every single case at Kaboom, downtown, whatever it is, instantly you walk in that room. Because, I mean, you weren't set up at National, but Kai and I are making this joke. I'm not sure if you heard it or saw it as well. The amount of people who came to my table, or just in general asking for case hits, downtowns, and Kabooms, really truly actually terrified me because it was a combination of like young kids who like don't know any better and fine whatever, and then like 35 to 45-year-old men. There were no in between. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it was really kind of interesting that it was either like little kids like 13 years old who like watch your favorite influencer and like know that, oh, this is like a boom and I want it, and then like just grown men who I don't know. They're not. I don't think they're collecting it. I don't really know who collects the downtown ticket booms and stuff like that, especially like with what happened with Optic this year, where they
FOTL.
where they were very mass produced. I don't know like what the end goal is, other than finding another larger fool to buy it off you. But that's fine. I don't know what the actual true collector is doing with those cards.
I talked with a dad and son at a show probably the week before the National, and they were working on doing the 2022 set of Donruss Downtowns. And they were like, do you think it's a good idea? And I'm like, do you want me to be honest with you, or do you want me to make you feel better? He's like, just be honest. I was like, I think it's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Like, I think that those 5 years down the line, yes, maybe the golds and the greens will age well because those are numbered. Maybe these are our generation's PMGs, but the base ones, they say they're case hits, but how do we know that's true? How do we know that these are coming out one per case? There's got to be times when there's 2 in a case, there's 3 in a case. I don't know for
25
sure.
in a case.
There's 50 in a case.
Yeah, there's 23 in a case, like we saw last week from Backyard. I would stay, if you're gonna do the collecting, I would do the early kabooms, early downtowns. Try to stick to the golds, but at the same time, like I think there's such better stuff to put your money into. I know there's like I'm a collector, but I collect stuff under $100. I don't collect anything that's $500 plus. So people do whatever they want, but that's not what I would do.
I mean, I fully agree with you. Like my PC has changed so much in the 9 years I've been in sports cards, mostly as a dealer. Like, unfortunately, my upbringing in sports cards was not going to the hobby shop with my parents and opening $40 packs of, $40 boxes of cards. I got into sports cards at 18 years old because I was playing Madden, and I said, "Oh, I'm buying X, Y, and Z digital cards, and they're worthless. And in August, I'm going to buy the new game and do it all over again. Like, let me try this other interesting industry, which is the physical cards." And I grew to love it, obviously. My PC now is game worn jerseys. And I went through them recently, 2 or 3 days ago. And I kind of forgot some of the cool ones I own. Not because I have not been able to like look at them. They're 2 feet away from me. I just have not like really like sat down and like, wow, these are so badass, and they're all relatively cheap. The most expensive jersey I've bought was $800. Like that's not an unreasonable amount of money in today's world. And in a sports card world, would I rather own any of my game worn jerseys I have with like Providence and like signed in some instances or like cool inscriptions in the other, or a Fleer sticker Michael Jordan PSA 8, which is $1,000. I like, to me, I'd rather own a game worn jersey. Like, this is cool. This holds value. This I can sell and trade very easily, which I did. But like a badass game worn jersey that I'm going to hang up in my office one day of a player I really like, or that displays very, very well, kind of just sounds better.
Agree. I couldn't agree more. Like, I understand why people do this. If you have tons and tons of disposable income, go ahead, but not what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So it's going to be an interesting time, as I really, we are in that last push. The next 3 Wednesdays, I'm prepping for Fanatics Fest, obviously, right now. Looking for Burbank after this. And then I'm in California. I'm going on a week-long vacation. And then when I get back, the next Wednesday, I'm flying to Dallas. Like, this is it. This is the final push in my year for sports cards. And I'm going to make it count. And then I'm going to buy cool shit with the money because I'd rather own cool jerseys than, a 2-color patch auto of Aaron Judge. Sure, I can't buy a jersey in that range, but maybe I can buy a Brett Gardner or, a Glaber Torres' MLB debut jersey was on Golden, I believe, or REA, and it sold for relatively cheap. Like, if I was a Glaber Torres stand and I loved him, maybe I want to go buy that instead of XYZ, gold auto of him or orange. I'm not sure what the prices would be, but conversation's sake.
Cool. I didn't want to keep cutting off Kai, so I wanted to give him the stage a little bit. I feel like I've been cutting him off the whole time. But this was the first year that I've ever gone into this sounds terrible. Going into players hard, going into investing players, and so Kai messaged me about this the other day. I have put a lot of money in my circumstance into one player that is actually from here, from where I grew up. He went to my opposing rival high school. He's only 18, George Wolkow. And these are PC items to me right now, but I'm hoping one day to profit off them. There's also stuff that I think people should understand. You should have a PC, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing this, because that's what keeps it fun. If you're constantly just flipping, and you don't have anything to, when you're walking around a card show and you see your PC player of Devonta Freeman and you see a $10 gold auto that when you're a kid you would have loved it, and you don't buy it, then I don't understand what the like. When you get home, I want to look at something and be like, I like that card. I have a memory of that card, meeting that player, or why I loved his card in Madden, or he won me a fantasy league. This only stays fun if you keep the fun side of it. Yes, the relationships are the best part of it, and going to the shows and having fun, meeting people, but
The money.
the money, that's cool. Paying my bills, paying for this apartment, whatever. But also being able to collect something is also very enjoyable.
Yeah. I don't think I could have said it any better. I don't know, man. I mean, how long have you been doing this full time for? I mean, you're still in school. So like, is this just like kind of like while you're in the summer break, or you really think you could do this forever? Like, what do you think about this?
So I recently just went back to school last year, and it's not even I'm doing school full time. Short story, I get the Pell Grant, so I get to go to school for free. So I'm like, oh, like while I'm under the age of 27, I'll just go to school. I'm taking 3 classes this semester. But I've been doing this full time. This is my 3rd year doing this full time. And I realistically don't see myself doing this full time forever. But I think right now, the last year, 2 years, it's become a lot better with learning grading, learning what people want, learning the sets, making relationships of guys that break and just want to sell stuff off. I think that has helped out a lot. I remember when I first moved out, this was so difficult for me. Like I had problems bringing in inventory, and I had weeks where I was like, ooh, how am I paying rent this month? Ooh, how am I paying off this credit card? But I think over the last year and a half, learning how this game works, like you said, it's not very hard, but getting to a point where you could support yourself, that's a different game than just doing this on the side on the weekends.
Yeah, or like if you had kids or a girlfriend who wanted to like do expensive things, like, oh shit, now I got more motivators to like kick my ass, and like, oh, I have to do like these important things. I mean, Kai, you laughed at that, but like Lucas is the North Star of this conversation. He has 3 kids, and he's been supporting himself doing sports cards for a couple of years now. Like, that is the end goal. If you're someone like Nick, who's obviously a little bit younger, obviously like not getting his feet wet, but like that is the goal. If you want a family one day and you want to be able to support them with trading cards, if you choose to do that route, yeah, that's the dream right there.
Nick, do you anticipate doing any more YouTube stuff? I think you used to do them like a year ago, right?
I was doing that. So that's what's honestly freed up a lot of time for me. I was putting so much time and effort into it. I was enjoying it so much. And I got to a point where I was like, this just isn't as fun because I'm not seeing the money come in that I'm seeing from cards. And like, I understand, like you never go into YouTube or podcasting, whatever. Like, you never should go into it like, oh, I'm going to be a full-time podcaster, a full-time YouTuber. But I got to a point where it was taking so long to edit videos and so long to edit reels. And my buddy who was filming all my stuff, he got a full-time job. And so I didn't have that side of it. And now, like, I'm not going to say any names, but I think there's some guys that do a great job in sports cards, great job of making content. But I think there's also guys that I do not want to be associated with as a content creator because they really bring it down. And no. All right. Do we want to say names today?
Nick, I don't give a shit. I mean, listen.
We love a good name drop,
okay.
Nick.
You can do it, Nick. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not.
Growing up as a kid, this will be a very short rant. Growing up as a kid, I'm from the burbs of Chicago. My favorite YouTuber as a kid was Justin Escalona. Favorite YouTuber as a kid. Watched him when he went to USC, watched him growing up. And personally, I'm not a fan of his vlogs anymore. I think that it isn't the best for what sports cars is all about. I see a lot of people trying to be the Nelk of sports cards, and I think that's fine, but I don't think you should go up to someone, shove a camera right in their face. I think you should film, but then ask them, hey, is this okay if I post this here? Not laughing at every moment. And maybe he is a good guy. I didn't have the greatest interaction with him when I was in Burbank a couple years ago, but I stopped making content because I felt like people weren't themselves when they got in front of that camera and felt like they had to put on a show sometimes. And you guys could give your opinion on that, but that's just me.
Just making sure I understand, and I'm not trying to like throw you under the bus. Is that Justin Gamble? I don't know. I'm actually
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
that is. Yes, that is.
I was not sure because I don't. The only content creators I follow in the sports card world are Sports Card Radio, Dan the Card Man. That's about it. I don't.
Dan the Card Man.
Dan the Card Man.
First off, Dan is very good. Like,
I'm sure he is. It just sounds like a used car salesman.
Whatever. Like, listen, it is what it is. I like their perspectives. I don't always agree with everything they say, but like, hey, I'm willing to take in information and kind of change my opinion based on new perspective. Don't always agree. Doesn't matter. Still quality content. That's it. Like, I live the sports card life. I don't need to always consume content about it or X, Y, and Z. Sure, I might learn something new as a result, which is why I follow those two. But like, that's my interaction. Now, I mean, honestly, Nick, obviously we're friends. Sasha's one of our friends. Sasha has not been making content for about 2 or 3 years now. I actually got recommended his $1 million Charizard trade recently in my feed. And I rewatched it. And I was like, wow, fuck. What have we done?
That was a time in cards.
I
Do you know about that?
Oh, all right. I'll make this a short story. Sasha T is the reason I quit vaping. So when I got back into sports cards,
So funny.
I was like, I need to quit vaping. And for probably a 3-week span, I watched every single Sasha T video out there possible. And to just get that thought away from me to like hit that vape, I would just watch a Sasha T video. I think his videos, in my opinion, were the greatest sports card. Like, that was the peak sports card content.
Agreed.
He was very informational, very he was himself. And I talked to Sasha at shows now. He's a great guy, and I think he shows that you don't have to make content to still be a great dealer or whatever in this space. Like, you could still be very informational. He doesn't make any content at all anymore, and he's definitely someone I look up to in this, and I think he does it right.
Sasha is a very, very nice guy. Really, truly, like, actually probably nicer off camera when he was making content than on it. Will always give you the time of day. Super duper personable. Just an awesome human being in general. And I want to make this clear too, so I don't get in trouble. Like, just because I don't consume your content does not mean I have a problem with you. Jay Mojo has been on our podcast. Jay is probably the nicest person in sports cards. Just actually truly means well. Will always mean well. Just an awesome human being in general. Ryan, Card Collector 2, I've known. Honestly, I posted this on Instagram a couple days ago. One of the first followers on my account from like 2015 is Ryan. So I will always continue to support Ryan. I'm excited for him. He's doing great things. He truly is like creating content that's good for more of a general audience. I don't think that we have the same interest in like the content creation world because I'm not a newbie to sports cards. Like, I think he's more of like wide net approach. Same thing with like Jay. I'm trying to think of who else makes content that like I actually know.
Roth,
I've never really had a conversation with. I mean, I've sold him a few cards. He's bought a few cards off my friends. I think as a person, he's perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything like good or bad I can say. I don't really have a perspective that's like fair. Content wise, just not my vibe at all, which is fine. But like, that's why you have content creators that are my vibe. I don't know. I've never watched. I didn't even know. I've never watched Justin Gamble in my life.
What about Dr. Collectible?
So I don't even think he has a YouTube channel. I know Kai is trying to throw me under the bus, so thank you. But I think we actually did. No, we did try doing this, and I don't think he has a YouTube channel.
What does
So
he have?
No, he doesn't. I've talked to Doc, good guy. I think he gets thrown under the bus because he isn't a dealer and he doesn't sell cards. And that's where I think that's my gripe sometimes is maybe I just want everybody to be a dealer and be a good dealer or be like me, and they really don't have to be. I understand there's content out there for everybody. Like some people's taste is Ryan. That's more of like the family-friendly sports card dealer, film the interaction. And then there's Justin, who's more of the 21 plus drinking with his friends. Cool. And then there's like Jay, which is more vlogging, and there's taste for everybody out there. And maybe that's the good thing about it. Maybe I'm just a hater. I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, there's definitely genres for everyone. I mean, you don't have to like all of them. You don't have to hate all of them. I mean, I don't know. I watched probably at least one of everyone's videos at some point. I mean, I liked your videos a lot. I think, like you said, Sasha's kind of like the epitome of like stuff that was actually entertaining for kind of like everyone, beginners and people that actually did cards. I mean, he was my go-to when I would eat lunch to like throw something on, like watch, in the background. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. There's like a lot of people trying to be something like they're not, like you kind of said, Nick, and it kind of rubs you the wrong way. It's like a little annoying at times, I would say, I guess. But yeah, I don't really like hate anyone. They can do whatever you want, like try whatever you want. Doesn't affect my life. So
I just want you to be the same person when the camera goes on and the camera goes off.
Yeah. It's so awkward
There's
if you
some
meet
people
someone
that
that makes videos and they're like totally different when they're not like recording at like a trade night or what. It's just like awkward. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't, and there's people that they are the same person, and I appreciate that. Really. And then there's people that will put on this persona like, kids, great. Like my content's friendly, like family friendly. And then I'll see them out at trade night just like crossed. And I'm like, what, which one is it? Which one are we doing here? And you can do whatever you want in your free time.
Sorry,
one last thing. I think when you get to maybe our point of, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I want more educational content of stuff that I don't know about. I don't really care about watching you do a deal at a show.
Yeah, I don't know. I have definitely considered in the past while memeing it, like if I ever made sports card content, because I was a YouTuber once upon a time. I made Pokemon videos. I had 40,000 subscribers, 45,000 subscribers. That's still on my resume, by the way. Like I know how to build an audience. If I ever made sports
for you in Dallas, Dave.
Please don't, Kai. I'm not interested. That's what it comes down to. Is like, what would be my avenue if I make content? I am not friendly. I'm not family friendly, and I fully understand that. I'm not trying to be family friendly. I don't want to appeal to a mass audience. I don't want to flex money and like be like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool with X, Y, and Z. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't mean anything to me. My content would be like, oh, I went to a show, I made these deals. That's it. And you know what? That's what this podcast is. Like, is there more upward mobility if you make family-friendly content that is like appealing to children? Of course. But I'm not trying to appeal to children. Shout out Wander Franco. And oh, that was I teed myself up for that one. I had to, but yeah, I'm not interested in that route, but that's fine. Like there's a lot of content creators that do want to appeal to mass audiences. I'm not going to talk down on you. I think it's great. You need that. It's just not going to be me because I make the most fucked up jokes you can and try not to get in too much trouble as a result.
Agree.
Yeah. This is like a very wholesome, weird, good, positive episode. I don't like this. This is too nice.
All right, let's get into what are some questions that were negative? I mean, like, I kind of threw someone under the bus. I feel like that was unwholesome.
Yeah, but like to be fair, I don't really. I was actually looking at Justin's social blade. He definitely didn't buy followers, which is good.
No. People were trying to put him on that. I don't think he ever bought followers.
No,
He knows how to build an audience. He knows how to build an audience.
That is 100% valid. He actually does, because I looked at it. It's very consistent. Roth has almost 100,000 followers. He definitely bought followers. We talked about that last week and like a couple weeks ago. That's not shocking. I don't know. I mean, like, who else out there is? Oh, what's fucking Jay's goddamn thing? Hang on, Mojo Sports LLC.
Mojo Sports.
Well, I think it's Mojo Sports LLC, and I love. No, that's not it.
Oh.
Did Jay? I don't think Jay ever did. Nope, that's not it either. And I like Jay. I don't think he ever would. But where I'm on this rabbit hole, Jay, what is your YouTube?
What about Sports Card Investor?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Hang on, I'll do that real quick. So, for anyone who is not familiar with why I'm doing this, I have 11 years of YouTube experience, 6 as a content creator, 5 in a digital marketing agency world. I literally am most likely the most intelligent person in my international company when it comes to YouTube. Hashtag flexing, hashtag give me a raise. I'm also open for open opportunities in other places in the sports card world. Let's see. Did Jeff ever buy followers? Probably not, actually. I'll share this real quick. We're gonna be educational today. I'm about to teach Nick about YouTube. Well, not that you didn't know it, but like just other interesting shit about it.
Dude, someone's trying to sell me like 20 Jeremy Sochan RPAs right now.
Why?
I don't know. I guess they collect them.
So Jeff looks like he had a lot of major bumps, like good bumps in terms of like subscribers and viewership in August 2022, which correlates with a nice bump in viewership. Makes sense. February 2023, which aligns with that. And then September 2023, which aligns with that viewership as well. That looks very healthy. That looks very normal. Can I look at his more detailed results? Hang on. Social media, just want to make sure I'm a human. I'm in fact a human being. Cool. I got him. Tricked them, guys. This AI is amazing, by the way. Total subscribers, very healthy. This is weekly. Or no, yeah, this is weekly. Very healthy, normal growth, straight, gradual lines to the right, nothing really spiking wildly. Yeah, Jeff never bought followers. Since we're on the route of showing what is bought followers. I have to show it. That's you saw a very healthy, normal growth. This is not. This is not healthy growth. Subs do not go from 400, 100, whatever, 400 to 52,000. That is not how it correlates. Sure, viewership went up, but it doubled. It didn't literally,
Would that be
50x.
like, yeah, I was gonna say that'd be, yeah.
Like that's sure. If this jumped to like 2,000, 3,000, it'd be normal. But that's not how numbers work. So
yeah, maybe he had like a strong month of shorts, or maybe a nice video with the national, but like you're not growing 600 subs a month and then go up to what 60K. Like that's just.
This is also for May.
And me personally, there wasn't even a big show. What is that like? I don't even know what was around there.
So like Dallas,
but I've had good interactions with Roth and seemed like a nice guy every time I talked to him. But hey,
I'm not saying he's not nice.
Job, you know what's going on. Yeah,
I think it's clever, honestly, because very few people in our industry understand how YouTube works. Very few beyond that understand how to do it properly. As much as I don't really love Jeff content at all, because I'm just not interested in what he has to say or do, he did it the right way, at least on that account, on his main one. He could have bought followers on a secondary, tertiary account, whatever else it is. His real one, he did naturally, and it's awesome. That was fucking very clearly not real, and would not shock me if YouTube looks at that when he goes for his silver play button, because Roth is 100% going to do that, and they're like, no, because anyone who has a basic YouTube understanding knows how to use social blade would be like, that is fake. So yeah. I don't know. I don't really care. I kind of, this is 2 weeks in a row I'm blowing up a spot about this, but It just keeps coming up in relevant conversation. Oops.
I got. I mean, nobody else is talking about it. I didn't know that. I remember just seeing him like go up to 100K. I'm like, whoa. You have a short pop off or something?
Nope.
But I don't really consume like YouTube content like that. Like you said, I really consume sports card radio, this podcast,
Thank you.
and if just somebody I know have personally know that isn't a hobby influencer is on a podcast and I want to just listen to it, give it a listen, see what they have to say. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, sports car radio guys are great. They're actually going to be at New York, which is going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know what they're doing or how long they're going to be there, but I like what they say. I don't always agree with everything, but I think they're funny. So that's good enough for me. Anything else, Nick or Kai, you want to talk through? I know you kind of had a hard stop around this time, Nick, so I want to just give you the...
I've got 5 minutes according to traffic, so if we have five more minutes of anything else, I'm good for 5 minutes. If not, thank you for having me on. Yeah,
I think we're good then, Kai, unless you have any last minute note.
No, I'm good. I mean, that was a good conversation. Lots of good talk.
Yeah, listen, Nick, we appreciate it. Staknsports, you'll be set up with me at the Fanatics Fest, booth 2930. It'll be available. Everyone knows how to do this shit. It's also on their website. Cool. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Next week, talk about Fanatics Fest and prep for Burbank. Oh my God, we're fucking so many shows. Later.